Of course, I'm very much with Merck, and I'm sure you are as well. This one should be a relatively easier game for Team EnVyUs, but Heretics, got to give them some props, of course. They do take up to gaming the distance. Well,
I will say,
distance, but they give them some trouble.
They've given us a good show, and I did actually get to see them play Reckless earlier today, and I will say that Lucky is looking fantastic today. His form is on point, and as is Journey. Journey is a player who has, he didn't necessarily have the most fantastic display in Atlanta. That was where Lucky really came out and played and really put on a big show for us. But yeah, to be honest, I mean, the whole squad of Heretics, all of them can go off at one point, and against team players like EnVyUs, you catch them at a bad time, that's a map win for you.
I was going to mention, you know, Lucky really made his name at the last event, and since then people have been saying, oh, you know, he could be one of the best players in Europe. The hype was very much real around his individual skill, but of course Heretics as a team didn't really have the best placement that of course they would have looked for, but once again they find themselves in a pretty good position. And no, Journey doing a good job here just staying alive, trying to make sure his teammates hold the spawns.
Yeah, speaking of the hype, is the hype to be believed? We've got Heretics up by 29 at this point. Sukri's already dropping glide bombs on Classic. Oh, wow. Journey continuing the run. Shots in for him, 4 kills in a row, 6 and 1 so far in the streaks. And look, Main Street's all theirs. EnVyUs yet to get on the board here, and there's a chance for that. Method's actually controlling middle right now. He's got 3 players of Envy making their way forward, and here we have Journey looking to get the soft bits of EnVyUs, and he does find one. Method's on the other side. Almost gets a second out of that one, and look, got to give it to Heretics. They're looking hot.
Remember when I said Envy start slow? Remember that?
You remind me.
Little slow start here from Hook. 0-5. Not what you want to see. Temp as well, 2-5. They need to definitely step things up because there's still 20 seconds left here of Main Street. Hook finally going to touch the hill, but not even going to get a point because it's contested, and Journey flies around the corner. He finds that, and that's 3 players go down. Envy just need to reset here. Give up the final 15 of Main Street. You don't need to challenge for it. Make sure you're controlling lower docks, but the problem is there's a bit of a pinch setting up here for Team Heretics.
And there's the pinch methods. Ooh, finding Hook there. We just see Slasher winning that gunfight down by the docks, and here we go. Classic now clearing that one out, and as the flip happens, we are going to see EnVyUs get their first points on the board. Now you can see a bit of a split from the players of Heretics at this point, so they are going to be able to pinch this one, and again, timing has to be absolutely pristine, and if they can make it work, there's a potential here to flip the point.
And Lucky wins that gunfight against Hook, which actually does keep that pinch alive, and rather than actually collapsing in the hill, look at what he's doing. He's slaying out. He's pushing Team EnVyUs even further, recognizing where they're going to spawn, relieves a little bit of pressure. It means the resources from Team EnVyUs aren't going to get towards the hill. So a really heads-up play coming in from him, and I mean, you can see it reflected in the scoreboard now, Miles. I mean, Heretics with 30 seconds left of Doc's Warehouse, they're taking this one to Team EnVyUs.
They completely took that hard point without too much resistance, let's be honest. I mean, that was a pretty clean retake, and now they're reaping the rewards of that one. Actually, I say that. EnVyUs back in control. Journey still 10-6 for him. He had a nice 6-kill streak to begin this one with. Catches Slasher from behind and shots in. Almost finds Hook if Temp hadn't come in and saved the day there. So now, as we get ready for that next rotation, Temp trying to leave the charge, finds one on Lucky, and he has a little bit of help there from Hook, and now a little bit of vengeance is going to be on the menu for him. But you can see all 3 of those green plays as Heretics are now gearing up for this one. And can Temp stay alive here, Ben? I mean, that's the thing. He's not too far away from streaks. He's got 4 kills in a row. EnVyUs now getting back into this one.
I mean, the key is he's just being an absolute nuisance, right? He's forcing so many Team Heretics players to give him the respect he needs. Unfortunately, he does end up falling, so he's not going to get those streaks. And Heretics actually breaking towards the hill. They get control of barrels with 40 seconds still left on it. Team EnVy, they were able to get a little bit of time back on that final hill, of course, before things got a little too crazy, I think it's fair to say. But Heretics, of course, still with the lead.
Yeah, this is it. They've cracked over 100 points, and Methods finds a nice one there on Hook, and the crowd lets them know as well. Methods still going for a wallbang on a player that doesn't exist, but look, I love to see the vigor. He's full of it right now, well excited here on the main stage. The CWL Birmingham finds Slasher with that one. He's got a couple more members of Envy making their way forward, and this is big from Hook. Journey, though, not to be fooled there by Hook, and Classic. He's now in a position to get the hard point back, and that's finally it for EnVyUs. But literally 5 seconds left from the barrels. If this has not been great for them, the rotations now are going through for Heretics, and once again, they're in a very solid position here to maybe make something work here by Crane. And already, Lucky's got the kills on Hook, and Temp's in a position to trade it out, but Journey's there.
And that's the key. Lucky versus Hook, that fight, we've seen it a couple of times already this map, and it's gone to Lucky every single time, and it's a key fight as well. And that one was a rotation fight, right, where if Hook is able to win it, Envy take control of that hill a little bit more comfortably. They ultimately do end up getting control, but you know, Heretics have streaks, so the fighter pilot's going to rain from above. Sukri picks up 1, there's 2. Going to call out the 3rd play to the left, and Methods is going to make slight work of him, and just like that, EnVyUs spawning out.
Oh, there we go. I mean, Sukri's a player I didn't touch on too much to begin with. He had a fine series against Reckless, but right now, 15-5. I mean, he's doing a ton of work for his boys. And here comes the counter-attack from EnVyUs. They're going to make their way forward. Classic finds a second there. He's got Methods there as Temp comes in from behind, and it's a perfect flank. But they've got to handle now the players of Heretics on spawn, and if they can do that, they can finally get into this again. 135 to 60 and climbing, and look, it's looking very good for Envy right now. I mean, that's 2 solid kills, 3 in a row there. They have managed to put the brakes on Heretics for now, as Docs wasn't the worst hardpoint EnVyUs have seen so far.
And I love the way Temp has played that. Note Temp very close to those streaks, so he plays lower Docs. Just playing, I don't want to say passively, but he's playing intelligently here to see if he can secure those streaks, because you see the flank he's done over towards Barrels. Journey is now one-shot. Journey should die. Temp cleans up that kill. Now, if he can potentially work to maybe another player cutting through mid-cut or just controlling these spawns, those streaks are the most important thing right now for Team EnVyUs.
Yeah, we'll see if they can't reap the rewards of those. Hook. Oh, lovely positioning, kills in. He's committed though, he's down on the ground, and now the player from Heretics up and above. Oh, turns on it, almost gets the shots in, but not to be had. Secret still.
Again, Temp gets 2 kills, gets his streaks. I'm pretty sure he should have them, because he may have jumped on towards that hill as well. It'd be great if we could just kind of double check, because that's a gunfight you expect to see him win.
There we have.
Gets him, he does.
He does get him, there we go. 2 streaks to work with. Classic's got his 106 now for EnVyUs, and they're starting to get back into this one. And there's a very big chance they can make this work, Ben. And I think you're right. Streaks could be the straw that breaks this camel's back here on Heretics. Still 5 seconds left here on Statue, and it's gone all the way to the blue boys.
Because look what the streaks do. It allows you to slow down on your rotation here of your team Envy. You drop the glide bomb, and now instantly Classics goes in because he knows there's no one close to him. He can push straight through. Then the pinch develops, of course, from the other side of the map. 2 players pushing through Cole. The collapse onto their hill. He falls, and basically it's just Journey left at the back of the map, which Envy should realistically know. They haven't seen him fall. He's going to get hunted out. Some shots already tagged up onto him, and that's a fight. Slasher's going to win 9 times out of 10. Wins it there, and Envy with a great break.
There's the break from Envy. We've still got a fighter pilot from Temp. Sukri, though, up top, 19-10 for him. A couple of kills as they hold on the streets, but he has no idea. There's 3 players right behind him, and he turns into that one, and Slasher blows him up. Still, that's going to be Envy back in control just because of the spawns they had, though. 20 seconds now on the back end of Main Street, and they're going to be able to net almost all of this time. Lucky's trying to make his way through the front, but he's not going to be had there by Hook, and they've just given this one up. Heretics have abandoned it. They're like, look, we can't get any more time out of this one. We're going to spend a lot of resources retaking it.
Yeah. Sukri, he gets a little unlucky there as well, it's worth mentioning, because his teammates were watching their kill cam, so he didn't really know where they were spawning, which is why he didn't have a really good read on the 3-player spawn back bus. So a little unfortunate, but credit to EnVyUs. They're now well and truly back in this game. 148, 143 as the hardpoint rotates down towards Dock Warehouse.
Oh, it was looking pretty good there for the attack from EnVyUs. The Slasher right through the front door. Classic's also watching that side flank for him as well, and here they go. They're trying to make their way in. Oh, Slasher over the top, does catch Sukri despite the ringing of his ears, and that's going to be a contest now. And as you can see, the score is extremely close. The closest it's been all series long. Heretics, they're not quite the dominant force they were to begin with. Temps just let loose that fighter pilot, managed to net 1 with it, but here we go. EnVyUs now with a big chance to finally take the lead. Slasher doing it with 2.
Problem is, he was the only one on the hill, right? Temp invests his fighter pilot there to just relieve the pressure, slay Heretics out a little further away so they can't put pressure onto the hill. Of course, Slasher goes big inside the hill, and eventually there, the cavalry does arrive. But now, the key gunfight about to occur. Hook versus Journey. Nade's been thrown out. Hook's 1 shot. Journey could take advantage of this. He's just trying to buy his teammates time, but Temp to the rescue. He puts a couple of shots in, and Hook's able to clean up the kill.
Now here we go, Ben. We've got EnVyUs now in the lead. They're starting to slowly but surely creep away with this one. Is there a chance for Heretics to even get back in control here? And Sukri and Lucky picking up kills in the back end of the map. Journey's now on the hard point. Still, and you've got Heretics fully in control now, but for how long? Here comes the players of Envy back off spawn. Methods far forward, gets dropped quickly there by Hook. Classic's going to make his way right through the front door, and there's one player there in position to see him, and as soon as he contests, he's going to give it up. And he's going to be dropped there, so this is a solid hold from the boys in green. We've got 1 player left there on the point. That's going to be Sukri fighting now, tooth and nail, but they're EnVyUs straight back in there. They're only down by 9 points, and they're going to be able to quickly get back into this one. Oh, but Journey, out of nowhere, comes in from behind, and it's an absolute war here on barrel building. And
it's worth mentioning, that's the 3rd time now you've seen Team Heretics break in towards barrels, and they've made it look easy. They've made it look so simple. Envy are just leaving too many lanes open, and Heretics are just going straight through and being able to just break straight in. However, the problem is hardpoint time is going to be contested. Methods jumps in, finds 1, ultimately drops. So this should be around about a tied game where Envy with a, 2-point lead as we rotate now back over towards Doc's screen.
Yeah, Doc's was pretty good for Heretics the first time round. Can they repeat their performance here? Journey on your screen as he's trying to take care of those few players making their way through barrels of shots in and manages to find 1 out of that one. Doesn't get the second. Classic now. desperate to punch through, and this is a chance to get Sucre at the back, but oh my good lord, he manages to just keep the reins on that one. Lucky over the top as well. Look at him go, swings that one for the fences, and he's got 2 out of that. Sucre still watching the back end. The spawn's in the favor of Heretics. They're going to be in a prime position to hold this one, but Hook though, sneaky little Hook in the corner, letting that PPSH ring out. And this is good for Docs. We've got Envy in control. It's only down by a few points at this stage, and Ben, this is going all the way.
And Journey just made such a good play to collapse onto that hill. It forces Envy to spawn way out over towards Cole, and that's just going to relieve a little bit of pressure. So this final scrap time should be good to go over towards Heretics. I think Envy may have one final push here, but no, Journey still in the hill, trying to roam around, find some picks, just delays that push. And as we go into our 3rd rotation, Miles, I mean, take a look at that score. Heretics 210, Team EnVyUs 197.
That's a bit of a surprise if you're an EnVyUs fan, let's be honest. Sucre shots in, finds Slasher. Control now in the hands of Team Heretics. They've got the controls of the lower street. The Doc's been taken care of, and now Temp through mid, shots in from Sucre once again, finds another. Not too far away from Streaks now. That's his 5th kill in a row.
And Jody actually keeps the streaks alive because Hook was about to find that pick, and Sucre just doing such a good job of staying alive. Ultimately does fall to the nade, but no, Envy have to push here. They're very concerned about holding the spawn for Main Street, but they have to be more concerned about Statue because Heretics could actually win here as Classic dives onto the hill. He's able to just control it for a moment here, but Lucky and Journey both picking up kills for Heretics. Journey's going to get traded out there from Classic, and Slasher left to be the one man for Team EnVyUs that can kind of slow this game down.
Oh, he's really got to slow it down because it's quickly getting out of control here. And on the flank, we're watching Methods any second now. We'll jump over to him and have a quick look at that fight. The engagement's through middle, and it looks like that battle down low is actually...
That's lasted way too long.
It's finally over, and Hook manages to get the win out of that one. So now, Statue in control for the time being for EnVyUs. They need every second they can possibly get because Heretics are quickly getting close to this one.
And that kill keeps Envy alive. Don't underestimate how important that was from Hook. He's lost a couple of key gunfights so far, but that one he wins. The fighter pilot comes in. Now there's more streaks being rained in from Team EnVyUs as they look to potentially break in. Sucre looking for the double. He's traded out by Classic. 3 players full, and Heretics are spawning way out. They have a long journey. Methods, the first one to the fight, has a smoke grenade just to try and cover that cut, but Slasher isn't going to allow it to happen, and now Envy just need 10 more seconds.
Slasher far forward, final 10 seconds here for EnVyUs. Something special's got to happen here from the boys and Heretics. The artillery strike's about to fall directly on top of them. Slasher makes it 2, and that's going to be it. Team EnVyUs have snatched this one away from Heretics here in map number 1.
And that is a massive momentum killer for Heretics, because they had full control of that game for the entire time. And it was really, like I mentioned, that one kill from Hook on rotation going to that final Main Street. He doesn't win that fight, Envy lose that map.
My good giddy. I mean, Slasher, we often say that it's difficult for Envy to win a respawn unless Slasher does something pretty impressive. And look, his numbers in that one, it wasn't crazy. 35 kills, 27 deaths, you know, doing a lot of time. His objective time is what, 1:35? Leading from the front, and it's something we like to see. Ben, how surprised are you by that scoreline? I mean, Heretics, 2nd event in a row they've made pool play. Are they catching up with the rest of the sort of the pack?
I want to say yes, but at the same time, I mentioned it on the desk right before we went live. Envy start slow. They just do. They start these series slow. I mean, don't take it away from Heretics, though. We saw how close their games were against the like of Optic Gaming. I think one of their hard points was 250, 210. That was an Ard Den of Forest. So it really shows you they can compete with the best, but it was a slow start. It really was from Envy. They had what, I think it was like negative 100-point deficit after about 3 hills there, and that's just such a big deficit to overcome. Luckily, though, Slasher goes off at the end, and you see another fantastic use of the artillery barrage. I think he's one of the best players I've seen use that artillery on a consistent basis, up there with Crim.
I mean, one thing about Slasher's fun to play as well, we saw that as soon as that Main Street, they hadn't controlled Main Street, you called it out straight away. You were like, Heretics is spawning way on the other side of the map, and Slasher actually charged straight in. Smokes, and the smokes actually came from a Heretics player. Slasher got straight into the smokes and cut that push in half immediately. That might have net him streaks. So like, again, that heads-up play, and it's something we throw around that term all the time, but really, to push that far forward, the Heretics players not really expecting him to be in that situation, especially in the dying seconds of the game.
It's one of those plays where realistically, if you're Slasher, I don't think he has many other things to do, right? Because that smoke has perfectly covered the mid-choke point. So if he doesn't challenge that, Heretics players potentially can push through and maybe contest the hill. So he really kind of left with only one thing that he can do, which is push straight through. And you're right, Heretics, they didn't expect that pressure to come through from Slasher, but ultimately it's a play which secures all 3 streaks. And then we see the artillery barrage come behind. So even if they do get a favorable spawn, Slasher has it covered.
going into the S&D now, and one thing we've noted about Heretics' play from earlier today, and particularly in CTF, it seems to bite them the most. They're a really aggressive team, but they kind of overextend a little bit too much. They get a bit full of too much zeal, a little bit too much vigor, and there's a time and a place for that, and sometimes, you know, you need to dial it a little bit back. So I'm curious to see if they can keep their composure here and roll into this search and destroy and play the game that they need to play, because let's face it, EnVy are a solid S&D team. There's a chance for an upset regardless.
And that's the key word, composure, right? Because you look at that map 1 and Heretics had control for a very large time, and you can say that about some of the other series that we've seen them play today. They've been in control, yet they sit without any wins in pools, and they have to go into map 2 kind of with the short-term memory, something that we mention very, very often when we get to these big open events. You have to have a short-term memory when you're one of these open bracket teams coming into pool play, because you will lose series. You're going up against the best teams in the world, right? You're expected to lose series, but can you recover quickly? That's the question.
Yeah, again, not only are you going to lose series, but the competition in COD World War II has been incredible.
Insane.
Like, it's so close right now. Maven calls it, there's like, how many bubble teams? 7. It's like, at the moment, it's like Rise and then everybody else. I mean, that's unbelievable to say. When you think of like Infinite Warfare, there was like 2 or 3 teams that would win everything. Right. We thought Optic were going to be like hands down the very best team in the world without question. And things change.
Oh, they do. And it's scary to kind of look at this year how many teams could potentially win an event, right? You think about the very beginning of the year, you know, TK Splice, Grand Final, first event, and then of course TK LG, then Rise kind of, they get some momentum under their belt, but there's been so many teams that you look at and said that, yeah, they had the potential to potentially, you know, take an event, and even now, like, yes, Rise are our reigning champs, but there's a very real possibility that they ultimately finish 3rd. They go straight into losers bracket. So does that maybe open the door for somebody else to come in and take this major?
I have a funny feeling that of all the teams to win this event, I'm still backing LG. I'm thinking that they could pull something magical out of the bank, and
I feel like they deserve it.
Yeah, they really deserve it more than anything.
But then at the same time, I just don't know.
It's hard to call these.
It's funny because I don't want to kind of hop on the hype train that is Optic Gaming, but it's worth mentioning. No one favored them last event. No one favored them coming here to Birmingham. But in terms of sheer consistency, they've looked one of the better teams. Do I think they're going to make it all the way through to the grand finals? Well, we'll have to wait and see how they play in the bracket and who also they draw and how favorable that bracket looks. But you know, right now, you see some of the players on social media kind of moaning a little bit. But Optic Gaming, a very experienced squad. They've dealt with travel across to Europe many times, and honestly, I feel like they're the more consistent team here, up there with the likes of Splice, which has kind of shocked me. But if you said Optic Gaming versus Splice right now, who wins? I bet Optic Gaming every time.
Here we go, straight into map number 2. EnVyUs versus Heretics. EnVyUs taking that first map. London Docks 250-232. If you just joined us, we're still in pool play. Who can you screw? About to potentially find 2 players and Methods. Tiptoeing around the corner. Quick trade there from both squads. Methods with the peak, doesn't find anything from it, and that's 30 seconds left on the clock.
Obviously, you see how quick the bomb went down. And EnVy now left in a 3v2. Classic's going to shut down Methods. Unlucky. Well, Sniper, Statement Redo Maw. Not sure how much I like that.
Lucky's a player who has no problem pulling Snipe out on any map. I watched him pull out Snipe versus Optic on Ardennes Search and Destroy, and in a scenario it was 1v4, picks up 2 kills, very comfortable kills, full-blown world stars, and then almost makes it a 3rd without being pinched. So Lucky's the kind of guy, he's ambitious as a player. I love that, though. I love that he's willing to take risks, and I mean big risks, like pulling out a Snipe, as you said on Samurai, not something we see every day.
You know, I don't mind risk takers, but I don't like it when risk takers all of a sudden turn to detriments, and then they start costing. I mean, St. Marie is a map where, you should know by now, right, that B site can be so heavily contested, and if you're sniping it, you have to hit your shot, right? You absolutely have to. It's a must, but of course you see Lucky pull out the submachine gun. Journey's going to shut down Hook through the smoke grenade, so 4v2. Temp ultimately shuts him down, looking for a second as well. Methods, he's going to be calling for some assistance, and Temp unlucky there not to find his second kill.
Oh, he's certainly called for assistance, and Temp, he's still got that position. Shots on Lucky there, and he's managed to hold off the site for now, and that bomb is still down. Back of A, so the players of Heretics are going to have to work their way around here, and as you can see, mid-street, we've got Slasher, and now Temp's about to regroup with him. So with that final 45 seconds left on the clock, we need to see the players of Heretics get that bomb back or potentially kill Temp and Slasher now.
Note Slasher quickly rotates over towards Temp, and buddy system very much deployed. They know bomb is still down. They've just been able to double check that, and the player getting up top control. Slasher just needs to watch the flank, and Temp can realistically hold right here. Time is ticking. Of course, it is Heretics that need to plant the bomb.
The timing on this one might actually work out. Sukri. Is it going to be a Sukri? Blur finds one. It's one player left. It's Temp. Catches them both.
Wow. Wow. Did not expect that. Time was ticking and was getting dangerously close towards the end there, but Sukri with a nice flank, and Temp doesn't think Sukri's going to challenge from a similar position, and you just go straight for it. Managed to get the quick double, so we're all tied up. 1 round apiece.
Yeah, nice way to pull us into round 3 with both teams. 1 map on the board. Ben, I feel like Heretics, as far as a team that has a deep playbook when it comes to search and destroy, I do not know. I mean, I'm going to gamble on that one. I've only seen him come out of pools twice. We'll see how we roll. Here we have Lucky on your screen screaming away with that bayonet charge. 1 kill for him, 3 kills for Sukri. He's had a great series so far. This is Temp on your screen. The boys of EnVyUs on offense. Nade's out all over that B-bomb site, and here comes the play over the top for the boys of Heretics. It's a quick trade. Up top, oh, Journey's gone as well. Hook looking for 3. He's got 2 this round already.
Of course, bomb down right next to him, so he's going to make that an easy transition. Temp finds 1, and Hook gets another. Wonderful, wonderful control there. And you see Envy, 2 attacking rounds now, and they managed to control the B site with, let's be honest, a little too much ease, right? If you're a Heretic, pull out a gas grenade. Slow down that push, maybe expeditionary stuns, something along those lines that stops them getting full control, because when they do get that control, it's so hard to kill some of those players when they're in such big power position. I mean, Hook, prime example, 3 kills in and around that site. He has to be slowed down. Yeah,
he really didn't have to work for those kills as well. B becomes a fortress as soon as those players are in there. Round number 4, here we have Heretics on offense. That last defensive round was a bit of a stinker, but we'll see if they can't rebound here. Oh, those nades are already given a lot of information away, and Hook's already picked up a kill on Journey. He's really fallen off this map.
And that's a prime example, right? This time, Envy, you know, on the defensive, look at what they do. They throw out those nades deep, and they take control of the B side. That's what you need to see Heretics do. Cannot give Envy that control on the attacking side. Now, look, from a Heretics POV, they're kind of stuck between 2 mines here, and a nice little flank's going to come through from Slasher. He's going to find that pick on Lucky, and instantly the bomb carrier, this Methods, has to turn around and take care of Slasher.
Oh, this has changed the field entirely. I mean, it's actually down to a 1v2 at the moment, so Methods, last player alive. Oh, Temp's in a power position up top, Restaurant, and almost manages to find him there. So Methods, he's making the best of a bad situation. He's now being hounded, though, through the streets of Sainte-Marie. Hook's going to be the first in the line of sight, and Methods, he's still dealing with 2 players at this point, and as soon as he puts himself into a tough position like that, he's going to get picked apart. I mean, they're not going to let him get away with that one. He needed to isolate those engagements a little bit better. Tough situation to be in regardless.
There's almost nothing he can do, right? Because you see he kind of tries to bait out the thought that he went straight in towards B and see if Temp could potentially leave that, and Hook challenges for a 1v1. Envy's not going to do that. They're going to hold the buddy system. They're going to force the 2v1 at all times. Realistically, there's nothing he can do in that situation. You just have to pray you kill Hook maybe the first time he jiggle peeks, but your shot has to be the snapper to do that.
Envy now 3-1 over Heretics against first to 6 if you new to the old Call of Duty scene. This is Envy now on the offensive round. See the nades going out. No hit markers just yet, but Classic does find Sukri, so that's a wonderful way to start this one. And Methods, again, once you get inside B, it's very easy to hold that one. And a few ways in, and once your guns are trailing on those doorways, it's pretty straightforward from here. Temp, that nade's going to force him right back, and here we see Heretics have basically forced a change of play here from Envy. So making their way towards A. Slasher, though, killed down in mid-street. Quick trade, and it's now a 2v2. That bomb's made its way towards A.
And that's the key, right? Look at Heretics. They're so worried about Temp over at the B side. Bomb's been planted today, and you know, if you're Classic, you can get the bomb down, and you have freedom to roam pretty much wherever you want, and you can essentially watch that cut. And Methods, they're still so worried about Temp that Classic's able to wrap all the way back and assist. And that's just a very, very simple 2v2 there from Envy.
Yeah, nice to see that one. Classic, he gets the bomb on, rolls around the other side of the map, even picks up a kill. I'm curious to see where he's at with streaks at the moment, because he picked up a kill at the start of the round as well. Yeah, I mean, look, it's an oldie, but a goodie. That play, you have a guy at B still staying there, shooting this gun in the air, letting the players know that there's still a bit of pressure being applied to that side. Meanwhile, you flip to the other side of the map.
I mean, it's beautiful, right? Temp takes 2 players away, drags them to him, wins the first gunfight, and Classic has, like you said, the time to go to the bomb, plant the bomb, come back, help his teammate, and trade out a kill.
He nails those players in transition as well. I mean, it's an oldie but a goodie if you're a Classic fan. Speaking of Classic, 6-3 right now. I'm not sure where his streaks are at, but Temp through the smoke, and Sukri and Journey are going to find their first easy kills here on the members of EnVyUs, and it's a 2v3 as Hook picks one up of his own.
But once again, this is what happens when you give up that B site. Look at this unbelievably quick flank. There's no way Heretics expect Slasher to be here already. Journey going to get shot in the back. Now it's a 2v2. And Hook and Slasher are players who, if they hit this pinch correctly, can definitely clutch up. And Hook decides, no, not going to go for the flank just yet. Let's just try and get close to Slasher. They know that the trade here is going to be the most important thing.
See how this one plays out. 25 seconds left on the clock. Hook going in deep, wants the kill, can't find it there. Now it's all in a Slasher. Lucky though, he's coming from behind. He's going to be able to pinch this one out. Slasher ties it up to a 1v1. 14 seconds left on the clock. Lucky makes a run for it. He's got to watch the timer here, and Lucky's not going to let this happen. There's the clock. Slasher, can he get a kill out of it? Nah, Lucky's going to finally get the kill, and every little helps. Heretics with a round. And
that's a gunfight that you look at Hook and think that if he wins that, the round goes different. He's pre-firing and just doesn't find the kill. Would have made Slasher's life a little easy because the way Methods played that just by splitting because of the amount of time there, they recognized they didn't even need to go for the trade. So Slasher has to push one player out, and it just draws so much time off that clock, and ultimately nothing Envy can do there. So Heretics, they get another round on the board, but still down 2 rounds, 4-2 of course in favor of Envy.
We've seen crazier comebacks than this. Heretics. Solid showing in the hard point, Ben, but seeing the Search and Destroy is looking a little favorable for the boys in blue.
And it just seems like Heretics really don't have a play for B site as Classic kills Slasher. So
do you need a play for the B site? Members of EnVyUs.
I mean, if they're going to kill themselves, no. You can leave it wide open and see what kind of advantage you end up with. But again, they're just playing so afraid, and EnVy's just going to walk into B every single time.
We've got one member of Heretics who was Sukri watching the A site, and then there's 3 guys now kind of dithering around. They're playing this really slow, and they're going to let the bomb go down, and Journey, he knows those players are out there, and he's going to have to make this one work. And Hook's already watching the top. We've got players on the back, and the player we need to be watching out for is actually Sukri, so he come all the way around from A. He is going to have someone trailing on that site, so if he makes his way in through the back, he's going to make this one work very quickly. And look at this positioning from EnVyUs. I mean, they're not going to let anyone get in here.
That's the thing, right? If you have a 3v4 and you get bombed down at B, it's still extremely winnable simply because there's 3 lanes to get into the site, right? You can cover all 3. All you need to do is hit your shots, and I mean, Envy, they're doing just that. So again, if you're Heretics, you have to play for the B site. You cannot give it up. Envy will walk in, they will plant the bomb. Hell, they'll team kill. That's what we saw that round. They'll say, we'll give you the man advantage. We don't care. You still have to push the B site, and if Heretics don't adapt, this game's done.
Well, that's Envy on map point here at 5-2. I think you call it, even with the team kill. It just goes to show how strong the B-bomb site is.
You just can't be afraid of it. You cannot be afraid of it. Too many teams, when it comes to St. Marie-du-Mont, get petrified of any presence defensively on the B site. You know, the spawns change. You can get there quickly. Just throw out that gas grenade that we talked about. Hell, throw out a smoke grenade, expeditionary, stuns, anything. Think outside the box to make sure you get control.
Quick trades early on here in round 8. Journey finding the best of Classic there, and this is now a 2v3. Heretics with the advantage at the moment. Methods now bomb through mid. Again, bit of a dither, bit of a slow start to this, but we'll see if it pays off. Slasher getting picked up there by Methods, that's important. Now Hook's on his own. A lifeline here, unless Hook can do a wonderful turnaround on this one, and that's the first step.
This is, oh, I thought he was gonna maybe just hold by that window an extra second or so, but still, Hook in a pretty good position because he gets the audio cue that bomb is down. Unfortunately, shoots there, and I don't know whether he just maybe got a little antsy. I don't know why he wouldn't necessarily pre-fire that, but either way, it's a round where Envy's not expected to win that one. Hook in the 1v3, of course, so they can still smile knowing they're at map point.
Smiles are an important thing for EnVyUs. So that's a team that can be easily sent off center by a couple of bad plays, and important to note, smiles on their faces at 5-3. Still, a bit of insurance there. But they don't want to let this one go easy because Heretics are a team that can certainly walk away with this. And here we go. Back in round number 9, EnVyUs on offense. That bomb's going to be in the hands of Classic. And over to B, this is where they found all the success, and the nades are going out.
And finally, you see Methods do something a little bit different, but the sticky nade comes through. He needs a little bit of a counter there. Again, the nades with Expeditionary, the stun, anything. They play into the B site, they give up the first blood. Slasher's going to find a second. Now it's a 4v2. Classic's already rotating over towards the A site. Lucky should get side of them, but whether Lucky can actually pick up a kill, well, it doesn't matter because he's in a 1v4 now.
Cool. Temp getting it done with the SCG, and that's it. Map number 2. It's a 6-3 to Envy here against Heretics, and Ben, it's all about that sweet old B-bomb site. Heretics just unable to find themselves there. I questioned how deep the playbook was for the players of Heretics, and we haven't seen too much of their gameplay, limit exposures to them because of the way pool play works. And they didn't really have the chops there to hang with Envy.
No, Heretics can't be that afraid on the defensive side, and that was their real weakness there. Envy had license to push whatever they wanted to be completely frank on that attack side, whether it was A or B. We saw success on both sides for them. Heretics, of course, they did win a couple of rounds there, 3 to be precise, and you know, it was nice to see at times you need to be able to adapt. And I actually want to take a look at the CWL play of the game, presented by Scuff Gaming, of course. And well, I think this was really the big turning point. Hook inside that B site. This, I think it was this play which kind of made Heretics a little afraid of ever pushing Hook again on the site. Finds 2 and ultimately gets the 3rd as well. Manages to put shots into the 4th. So overall, a wonderful round there from Hook.
Clean, making it look easy. Eh? EnVyUs now coming up now 2-0 in this series. Still pool play, so tons to play for regardless. But CTF is where now I put a massive question mark over the performance of Heretics. We could see them play earlier today, and they're antsy players, man. They just want to go forward. It's just forward. That left stick is locked in that singular position. You know, I don't feel like they've got the patience to play against EnVyUs here. And EnVyUs are a team that are going to punish them for that overextended play. They are going to be punished. And I think the map was Ardennes.
Ardennes, it is.
And that could sting, because that's a map where you need to know how to stop, take a breather, and push as a team. I'm not sure if they can do it.
If you spawn Bell and you just run straight forward, well, bad things can happen, that's for sure. I mean, Revan was kind of talking about it a little bit earlier on the desk. CTF is one of those game modes where you can't just run forward. You have to often track back, clean out your flag, and push as a team. And if you're not doing that, and you have this mentality of speed, 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 it's not going to work. And a team like Envy, to your point, they will punish you every single time.
They're going to bend you over and take you to Browntown with that one. So again, Ardennes CTF is going to be map number 3. It's 2-0 at the moment. The first map was a 250-232, 6-3 there in the search and destroy. But look, the boys of Heretics, they can turn it around. I know I'm this naive optimist. I know what I am. I just wanted to be a good show, and the truth of the matter is they could do it, but let's face it. Right now they're up against EnVyUs, and EnVyUs looking fine form, smiles on the faces of all the boys. And Ben, I think we talked about it enough. Heretics coming out of the open bracket for the 2nd time now in a row in these open events, first time in Atlanta. They're definitely improving, definitely changing the game for themselves, but they might not have enough, you know, experience and enough gas in the tank to hang with these higher tier teams.
Definitely tough, but to your point, you know, some of the games they have played have been extremely close, and you look for them to maybe just get a little bit of confidence. And it's going to come by winning a series, right? As soon as they win that first series in full play, they're like, all right, we can do this, and they can get that little bit of momentum rolling. But for now, I believe we're going to go to a quick commercial. When we return, then we'll have Game 3 here of Team EnVyUs versus Heretics. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the CWL Birmingham Open presented by PlayStation 4. We're approaching the latter part here of day 2, of course, and about that time where our open bracket teams have played a fair amount of games against our pool play teams, and the bracket starts to get decided, of course, but the game currently on main stage. It's a pretty good one. EnVy, of course, versus Heretics. Heretics shown a pretty good sign of life throughout their pool play matches, but EnVy Miles maybe a little bit too much to handle. EnVyUs
finally living up to the name that is so storied in Call of Duty, and they're doing the deed here against Heretics. Heretics, of course, making their way through the open bracket. The second time they've done that now in COD World Leagues of open events. They were in Atlanta, they did fine there, and now they're trying to bring the noise here against EnVyUs, but so far down 2-0 in this series.
Yeah, and for me, it's about that next step, right? You've done the hard part. You're fighting through the open bracket. You're accumulating a ton of pro points by just making it into pool play. But we've seen that happen a fair amount of times. Teams fight through open and then just kind of falter a little bit in pool play. And it's about finding that natural evolution to your game. And it really shows like the skill gap often between your professional teams, the teams in the Pro League, as opposed to anything else. But of course, we jump into game 3. CTF aren't in force. And of course, in-game is a little bit wrong. Team Heretics just became Team EnVyUs. And there we go, just like that. You ask and you shall receive. The scoreboard flipped.
There we go. EnVyUs now on the offensive. We have brought to light the questions around Heretics CTF play, and we'll see if those predictions can become reality here. Slasher charging forward. The gunfights are actually going the way of Team Heretics right now, and well, there you go. This is a solid start for the boys in the green trunks.
And it is worth mentioning, last event it was very much a conversation around lucky, right? It was lucky, 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 lucky. From what we've seen so far here for Heretics, everybody else has kind of stepped up, right? You are seeing a more complete team now. It's not just necessarily one player by himself.
There we go. Still pushing forward. Here comes the play from Heretics. This is a chance now to get on that flag. 3 kills in a row for Methods. If you can get a pull out of that one, he's going to be ever closer to streaks. But here comes EnVyUs back off spawn. All 4 of them now charging the way forward. Slasher finds one. Temp finds a second. That's completely cut the legs out of this push from Heretics. And Methods keeping it alive. This is important. Still good for streaks. Desperately concerned about the player coming from bunker, but that's not where you wanted to be looking, my friend.
Smooth. Way to curse him, bro. Way to curse him. Obviously, falls, no streaks at all for Methods. Is Temp now trying to push through mid-map. He's going to drop as well. Good nades coming out of Journey, and you can see Slasher just roaming around that first hill, just playing a little bit defensive for now, recognizes the push could come through, and Sukri ultimately does win that gunfight. However, it doesn't seem like, realistically, Heretics have too much map control. You have to look at number 7 on the minimap. It's going to be Journey, as he was just roaming through ruins here. He's watching to see if anyone spawns Bell. Are they going to cross through? But, of course, Team EnVyUs, all 4 spawn back bunker.
He had a chance to get in there and catch angles on those players. And, you know, Journey's a player, he's a subby player for Heretics, so he's not going to be in a position to pick up those long-range kills, but Sukri's getting the job done.
And they're the situations where you want to see him hit that, right? If Journey hits that, you collapse completely, you force EnVy to spawn Bell, and essentially they have nothing else to do other than overextend. Instead, you give EnVy that kind of hope where they can make a defensive play, and Temp's going to do that every single time. Worth noting again, though, Hook in respawn, another slow start.
Yeah, slow starts for EnVy, still 2 kills in a row for Temp and Hook. Not a bloody kill to be found. So here we have Slasher making his way forward. This is the second time we've seen EnVyUs get out of their base across that 50-yard line. And ooh, lucky, you dirty dog. Gotta say sorry to EnVy after doing that to them. Hook yet to find one. Desperately hunting for Lucky, and he will catch him there. And again, solid defensive play there from the boys of EnVyUs. They managed to take care of those players, and they've pulled a flag now. But again, it's flags for both sides out. A little bit of a stalemate. Slasher catches Sukri on the flagpole, so now Classic's got to make his run if they get that return as well.
And it's worth mentioning as well, they leave the flag off simply so that Classic can also return and get the cap for the extra points. No one needs to track back. You're going to see potential streaks come through from Classic. I mean, you'll see how close he gets. Well, there you have it. A kill basically should do it. So pretty heads-up play there from Team EnVyUs, and also they did want to push up and help Classic on his flag run, but Classic has to get the streaks, gets the first 2, not going to find the artillery barrage, however, but EnVy now in a pretty good position.
Yeah, that first cap is a wonderful thing to have, but those streaks are even nicer. Temp now on the defense in the bunker, taking on Methods, finds the kills there for Heretics, and then this is the 3rd, maybe 4th time we've seen them come forward in a strong way, and Classic now, last line of defense here for EnVy. Heretics flags up, Lucky's got it, and here comes the run. Now they need to watch those players making their way through ruins, or it could be the ruin here of Heretics.
It's kind of lucky that the Classic was that last player because he buys some time. Now if his teammates can get 1 kill, maybe 2, Classic could use streak straight off spawn. He stood still, so that obviously means he's going to drop something from the sky. It's going to be the fighter pilot, but is it going to get there in time? Flag is thinking about going through. EnVy are just trying to collapse. And look, he's just sat under the bridge. Flag gets returned by Temp. The fighter pilot really didn't even need to do much. It was just a distraction if nothing else. And Just like that, Envy with the wonderful CTF plays.
Oh, tidy. Just tidy. That really was. Coverage from above. And here comes the glide bomb as well, and that's going to eliminate the players. Oh, trying to make a run with that flag. And Hook now on the defense. Methods finds him, and this is a play now. Potential for a chance to catch the return with 1 minute left. Going down 2-0 at the halftime whistle is not what you want. This attempt with flag. He's making it through. There's no one there to stop it, and that's another cap. 2-0 here to EnVyUs in the first half.
And once again, Temp getting close to some streaks of his own. There's a player outside bunker, gets the call up, gets the kill. Beautiful stuff coming out of Team EnVyUs here. Very methodical CTF, and you know that's what you kind of expect from this squad. 30 seconds left, and again, still with those streaks, so you could actually see Envy maybe go for one more flag. All they have to do, of course, is touch it in the next 29 seconds, and they could potentially force that extra 60.
They still have to deal with those few members of Team Heretics now sitting back in their base. All are on spawn now. Look at those green arrows, all of them of EnVyUs, and they're going to open up the play with a glide bomb, and Lucky managed to make it his way out, but that's it. The dinner bell has been rung, and here comes all of EnVyUs. They're pushing the way on top of that flag, and it looks like Lucky's actually going to be holding truce. Defensively, they may have gotten away with this one. A flag not to be had, but there's 4 seconds left on the clock. Oh, it's going to happen. They're going for the grab. Methods is there to stop it. That's going to be the whistle blown. Still, up by 2. Can't complain if you're an Envy fan.
Ambitious to go for the glide bomb, but we've seen it work so many times. Why not? You have a 2-0 lead. You can potentially add a 3rd flag to that list as well. Just a little unfortunate that the transition kills didn't really come through there for Envy. But as we said, 2-0 lead at the half. They are looking very good indeed. Heretics didn't really show us too much there in terms of the CTF. I think at times you could argue maybe played it a little too slow, which is a little unusual based off their familiar game style that we're used to.
I totally expect them to be a little bit more aggressive, but they're not too bad at going forward. They're solid at winning the engagements against Envy. The gun skill seems to be relatively evenly matched. I mean, Hook's going 2 and 10.
I was
2 and 10.
Just about to point that out, right? He's averaged a kill every 2.5 minutes, but it doesn't matter because Envy's 2-0 up.
Yeah, the caps are really what matters here. This ain't no TDM. We don't do that here at the Call of Duty World League, presented by PlayStation 4. And here we go, straight into an offensive push now from the players of Envy. Oh, and already Journey continuing to put up an impressive display for me. And Temp, another thing to note is those streaks. They're really going to come into play a little bit later on. Slasher finds 2 there, and this is a very strong attack now from Envy. They've got an open field. Temp's made his way into the bunker, and this is a chance. Oh, and he's going to do it with streaks.
And he knows 2 players are going to spawn Bell, so why not, right? He's pushed up so far into bunker that he can potentially get a couple of freebies, and just like that, 3 players go down. Does he get eyes on the 4th? Doesn't matter. Hook's going to clean him up, and Hook may not have the most kills, but he's picking up some pretty important ones just like that. And that should secure the 3rd flag here for Team EnVyUs Classic. Going to run that one home. Beautifully done, and Envy are going to keep the gas on the pedal. Stay aggressive on. Honestly, if Temp wants to here, he could use his glide bomb. Yep, perfect. Look at that. 2 players going to fall, and this is just an absolute bloodbath. Obviously, he gets a little unfortunate. He doesn't find the kill because of small protection, but still, Envy with almost a perfect 2 minutes of gameplay. I actually want to send it into an Astro Gaming listening with Team EnVyUs.
Journey's 1 shot on the flag. Journey was 1 shot in bunker. 1 could be on our flag, low key.
No, I blocked it. You're good. He's gonna be middle though.
Yeah, he's mid. I saw out our
I
mid.
don't know. I need your truck.
Yo, I can get ice. I got ice.
Someone kill me. Yo, one's gonna run to our flag or dome. One's in cabin.
Yellow car.
I got naded. I'm so watching.
Right on same spot.
Did you see anyone wood?
Yeah, one was in cabin. Yeah.
Yeah, he's there. He's outside of cabin. I'm not hitting.
Last was probably mid mountain.
Yeah,
should try and double hit this guy, Kevin. He's outside of mid. Yeah. All right, there's another one. Cabin hitty.
I think he's in cabin.
He's weak, dead.
I have streaks, guys. We should get to front bunker. I can streak.
All right, 2 up. One's gonna be in bunker for sure.
No one cross first. Yellow barrel weak. And left side bunker. He ran the right.
Oh, 1 shot bunker. Nice.
Yo, I'm about to streak.
The other
I'm
guy
trying to
was
pick
weak.
up your mid. I'm trying to
Give
pick
me
up
my
your
mid.
back
Yeah.
down.
You about to streak?
I got your mid.
That box,
I'm about to overlap.
He's hitting mid.
Mid, in bunker. In bunker, and then spawning back bunker. No, he came on fire, Kylo. What are you doing?
Wait, I was about to
I'm going
push
off
your flag.
streaks. Like, why don't you fucking help me?
I didn't.
I literally just said it.
All right, my bad, bro. Chill.
I'm chill, but like, come the fuck on.
I already talked about this at the station, Kyrie, man. You gotta be more of a teammate.
Yeah, you right.
Oh, in dome. He's 1 on streaks.
Slasher. Of course, he likes things to be done properly. I think it's fair to say, Miles, and he was a little upset that the team support didn't come through.
Well, there's Slash's way, there's the highway. And look, he also gave us some good advice about being a nice teammate as well. So still, you can't fault the numbers. It's 4-0 right now. EnVyUs are really starting to walk away with this one. And again, Bennett came down at streaks. Once the streaks came into play, I mean, that really was it. It was all over there from Heretics. And there's 1:45 left, and there's a chance for a single cap here. And look, crazier things have happened. Sukri's fully streaked out, ready to go with that one. And look, we'll see if they can't make something work here. So a slow and steady push forward for EnVyUs. And Temp's sitting in cabin now, and he's going to make his way forward. And there's actually a gunfight going down by Bell, which Journey seemed to win. And if he can take care of that player in mid as well. Oh, streaks!
Bear in mind, yeah, Sukri on a 9 streak. Now, I'm curious to see if he gets close to overlapping, because if he doesn't get close to overlapping, maybe letting a teammate kill.
Get out of here, son. Shut the front door.
Why is it always me and you?
Shut the front door.
Why is it always me and you?
Lucky makes that one look. I mean, what's with the world stars at Birmingham? I love it. This is happening, Ben. Here comes Heretics. Here they come. Sukri's got another kill. He's 12 in a row right now, 17 and 12. Slash is just playing this one defensively, and he can't. The artillery strike on the base.
Here's the problem, though. No one's watched the overextend, so I believe it's classic. Last man up. He's trying to get away, but he ultimately does die. Now, this is where, if you're Heretics, you have to stay aggressive. You have to slay off spawn. However, do they have what it takes? That's the question. Another glide bomb comes through. There's one player still aggressive. It's going to basically come down to Lucky. Note the flag does go in. 38 seconds left. If they're going to go, they have to go now, but the fighter pilot's in, and I don't think he's actually going to find any kills.
Keep it going. Sukri's at 15, 30 seconds to get 2 flag caps out of this. They've got to make this count. They've got to get in there. Lucky.
They needed a relay. They needed the relay, Mouse.
Can they make it work? 20 seconds to go. Come on, boys. Put on a show for us. This is a chance. All 2 kills from Lucky and Sukri. Classic. Keeping the defense alive. Journey in from behind. Here comes a chance for a flag grab. They need to make this relay work. Otherwise, there is no way they can pop. Oh, they can actually have the flag out and force an OT. Nope, can't do that. Boys shaking their heads. I'm clutching at straws, fellas.
This flag needs to be capped in 5 seconds.
Here it comes.
And it's just not going to happen.
Oh, there, Heretics. You got me all excited. Nothing.
Here was the problem. They had about a 10-second window where they needed to relay effectively. Who gets that